Alright, so today we're working on this Omega Geneve, or Geneve. So let's get started. So I always like to use a fine bristled brush before I open it, kind of clean the threads off. I'm going to do that off of the workbench site. Just a quick swipe usually does the job. Kind of gets any of a debris that might be in around the threads or the case. So this watch is in today. It works, it runs, it keeps okay time. However, everything kind of stops as soon as you go from dial up to dial down. Everything kind of stops, it just seizes up immediately. So clearly in need of a good cleaning. Got a lot of grease build up here. Let's see, turn on some more lights. We have some grease build up. So this is a, if we can see here, I don't know if that's visible, but a 1481, an Omega 1481. So this was developed, this movement was developed in the 70s, early 70s, 72 if I remember correctly. So this was in the throes, was developed in the throes of the quartz crisis, if you're a Swiss fan. Or the quartz revolution if you're kind of a Seiko fan. Alright, so it looks like we have a gasket. I'm not going to mess with that now. Pretty hard, feels like hard like a rock, so definitely. However, here's something that popped out to me. This watch has definitely been opened and worked on before. Omega's a Swiss company, and there's, I don't know if this is This is some kind of foreign writing, handwriting in here, along with this stickers. So I'm not sure what was going on here. Maybe it was repaired overseas somewhere out east. Let me get a little closer to my bench here. So, and I will say this doesn't appear to be an original or OEM, original equipment manufacturer crown. Usually you typically have an Omega signed crown. This has no sign. In addition to that, it is lacking some. Again, I couldn't find a lot. This watch and this kind of era of watches kind of lost to time kind of information on them. But I've seen some original crystals, and there's usually an Omega logo kind of stamped, very small, stamped in the very center. This does not have that. So someone's been in this watch before. Someone definitely overseas with those markings and stamps we find on the bottom of the case back, underside of the case back. But moving on with the assessment here. So this is developed between Tissot, the Swiss company, and Omega. They kind of combined forces to create a more affordable, albeit not as durable, watch to kind of compete with the quartz watches. So Tissot has their own kind of caliber. It's almost the same exact thing. It's just under a different number classification. This is the 1481. But again, definitely in need. It's very greasy. We got a little hazing here. Any oils there definitely dried up, I would say. Haziness on the gears. Kind of reminiscent of or indicative of dried oils. Lost my finger caught. There we go. So yes, so again, moving forward, kind of a curious case where the watch will run perfectly with the dial side up. However, as soon as you flip it over, it just stops. So what that's telling me is possibly we have a cracked jewel on the dial side, where as soon as there's some play in a gear, maybe it's catching and locking things up, or there's too much end shake with these gears. So end shake is kind of where you take a gear and kind of wiggle it up and down. And if it's really wiggly, a change in position can kind of lock things up. A change in position, one of those gears. Third hypothesis of what's causing this could be possibly maybe they disassembled this over east on the in the east somewhere, and maybe they didn't assemble it quite correctly, and they could have maybe mushroomed out some of the posts, so one of the pivots of one of these gears, and maybe that side, just as soon as it flips over to the other side, that just kind of catches. Those are just kind of my running theories for now. So anywho, let's move forward with this. Enough of me talking. There we go. This is an integrated bracelet, so if you're wondering why I haven't taken the bracelet off, it's just, that's how it comes. It looks like someone might have tried to take the bracelet off before. We got a pretty big dent in this end link here. Maybe someone dented it, tried taking it off, or maybe that's just something that occurred over time. We're going to set the case and dot and bracelet aside here. All right, she's ticking now that we've jostled it a little bit. Let me demonstrate now how this will just stop. So it's ticking now, as we can see. Now it's stopped. So something to look into there, keep in mind. Maybe that's a little better. Again, this is my first time filming, guys, so we'll see how this works. Let's see if we can get this crown. There we go. Nope. There we go. So if you need any proof that it needs cleaning, I haven't even really gotten into anything. I always see old dark grease here. My thumbs and my finger cots. All right. Dial's in pretty good shape, though. I can't say for sure if it's original or aftermarket, but seems to be in pretty good shape. There we go. Something to protect the dial. There. This. There we go. And There we go. Wow, there we go. Thing kind of flew there, but everything's still here. Second hand.